So this week we're talking about things that we do to relax. Um, I'm not really sure that I do relax. I guess that I'll ask if there's a difference between relaxing and escaping. Because I think that I tend to do a lot of things when I get stressed out to escape life, but that at the same time, a lot of them aren't really that relaxing of things, or, well, I guess it depends on the definition of the word relax. Because I do watch a lot of TV and I do play a lot of video games and things like that. But even with those things, I like them to be things that I can still mentally engage with. And I think that this has come up kind of in my ways of trying to think about things with the movie reviews. If I'm watching something, I'm wanting to engage with it. I'm wanting to figure out, okay, what does this have to do with me? How can I learn something from this? Whether it's me looking at it and be like, oh, I think this is the way that the director, writer, producer, whatever is thinking about this topic. I entirely disagree with it, and I'm going to apply the opposite to my life. Or whether it's me being like, okay, well, here's a thought, and this is how it's being acted out in the movie. I can get on board with that. I think that most things I come in contact with, I assess first to decide if it's a lie or not. I usually treat most things as though they're wrong and evil until I can prove otherwise. Which isn't necessarily a terribly good way of living life. It might be kind of flawed. Um, See, I even do it to my own stuff. But so I guess what it comes down to is that that's kind of stressful and it's kind of draining at the same time. But that's what I do when I'm escaping from real life. Even is I look at things and apply them to, I guess, real life. But I'm entirely uninterested in things that I can't analyze in any way like that. So I do spend a lot of time escaping, whether it's TV, video games, etc. But if it's not something that I can engage in and find meaning in, then it's not worth my time. So I'm not really sure if that's relaxing or not. And it's kind of the same thing with my own creative outlets. That I know we had a long thing about creative outlets one of the first weeks that I was here. And I've talked about how I run a lot of RPG games and how I write a lot of stuff. And I think that a lot of times those can be really stressful things. They take me out of this world a lot, but they are also really stressful to try to run and try to make sure that all the connections are lining up and everything's working, especially anything that I'm involving other people in. It requires a large degree of creative thinking and effort and things like that. So I wouldn't say that that's necessarily relaxing, but that it's still escaping and it's still something that's helping me to engage and, I guess, be an outlet that's blowing off my thoughts and or letting out my thoughts and building them and things like that, as opposed to just living life where I have to act on my thoughts in visible ways, whether it's engaging in other people's fiction or my own. I'm able to put my thoughts in a safe place where I can work with them and test them and think freely. So I'm not really sure if any of that counts as relaxing or not, but that, in some weird, twisted way, is my answer to this week's question. I look forward to hearing what everyone else says, and I will talk to you again next week.